Hi everyone, I'm Dilnaz and welcome back to my channel. That's really interesting to say still. I'm now in a coffee place trying to record some of the favorites of my 2024 for you. And I'm super excited to rewind and reflect on this year because it has brought so many new things into my life and so many new experiences. And even if you don't usually record videos, I would still recommend for you to reflect on your year. How did you spend it? What kind of experiences have you gone throughout this year? What were your favorite foods, drinks, and so on. Today I will divide these favorites into different categories, and since I am in the coffee place, but I'm drinking matcha, let's start from the food. And first is the food that I have baked by myself. I really like baking. Maybe I don't do it that often, but one of the things that I really like to bake is the blueberry pie. It's a traditional Finnish pie, and I made it for the first time during June, maybe for my boyfriend's birthday. And then it started to be one of my staples. I really like to make it mixing with the black currants in the blueberries so that it gets a little nice touch of flavor, like more sour flavor. I have actually even made a recipe video for my Instagram and YouTube shorts, which is completely new format for me, but I still return to that video. And my friend, he baked the blueberry pie for the Independence Day recently based on that recipe, and it turned out well, so I highly recommend it. If talking about the food as a category of what I ordered or what I cooked for the main meals, one of the favorites of this year is chicken curry. We have been making it with Jere for so many times, and it has saved our lives so many times because it's easy to make, it doesn't require that much of ingredients, and it's always so good and warming to your stomach. Next is not the favorite of this year, like it's not a new thing for me, but I reinvented it for myself because for some time I just forgot about how much I love avocado and avocado toasts. But this year's favorite is the avocado salad with chicken and adding some of the burger sauce in it. Maybe it sounds weird, but I tried it and it worked out so well because sometimes salad is really hard to eat when you don't have a good sauce for it, and I'm sometimes lazy to make the sauce by myself, so using some store-bought sauce is not the worst if you want to eat your veggies. A favorite restaurant in Tampere this year was Huber. There you can find horse meat steak. This is something that is super common in Kazakhstan, and I used to eat it quite often back at home, but in Finland it's really rare to find any horse meat, so I was super happy to find it here and feel this home tastes. Like it brings me back to my parents' place. Another favorite that I tried from the store is a kruki. I was super surprised to find it in Ko supermarket. It's a croissant with cookie dough on top and cookie dough in the middle, and it was so good. So sweet, but still so good, especially with black coffee. And speaking of coffee, one of the best ones that I have found throughout this year is Koskenlinnan coffee. You can find it on one of the local shops in Tampere. It's also roasted in Tampere, so I highly recommend it. It's like you make filtered coffee, but it tastes like you have made it in a proper coffee machine. If we go to drinks, I really like blackcurrant organic juices. They usually come in like glass bottles and so good. Sour, a little bit of sweet, and just 10 out of 10. And another thing is really interesting maybe to some of you, but I really liked water in Kotka. We went to Kotka and stayed in a hotel, and when we drank the tap water from there, it was so good, so clean, but not like dead water. It still had like minerals in it, if you can say so, but it tasted so well. I really recommend everyone to go to Kotka and try just tap water there. Next, let's move to my favorite hobbies. First, learning Finnish. I know that for some people it's not a hobby and they do it just because they need to do it, but for me it's really the most enjoyable hobby ever throughout this year. I really like going to my Finnish classes and they're the highlight of my day. Maybe it's because of the friends that I have on my Finnish classes, and because the teacher on my previous offline class was so super nice. But I really enjoy learning language. Maybe it comes from my childhood. Learning languages definitely was a huge part of my childhood. I used to go to English learning classes like twice a week, and it was a big part of my life for several years in a row. And after that, I started learning German for 3 years. And during COVID, I didn't have that much of things to do because everything was online. So I enrolled to Japanese classes, and that was also super nice. But after I moved to Finland, I kind of forgot about that because I was trying to adjust to this life. But now, going back to learning languages, it kind of brings me back to my inner child, and it just makes me so comfortable when I'm learning the language, being able to speak it, to use it. And this is some true dopamine when I read some texts in Finnish, for example, from the news articles, and I understand them. It makes me so happy. Or when I'm standing on a bus stop and there is some grandma with her grandchild standing next to me and I understand what they're talking about. So in that sense, I really like languages because they show you your progress just in time, in real time. Like, you don't need to wait for some teacher to assess your knowledge or for some results to come, because you can test your own knowledge during really small things. Another favorite hobby of mine is oil painting. I discovered it for myself only during this semester, so I started oil painting only in September, and I really liked it because it's on Fridays in the evening, so I can unwind, forget about all the week's stress and focus on painting. We didn't learn academic painting, it's more of a hobby painting where you draw whatever you want and the teacher navigates you and helps you how to do everything. Another thing that I already mentioned is that I liked baking, and this year I have been baking some cakes. Maybe I made 5 of them during the year, and even some cakes for sale. Like, some people ordered birthday cakes from me here in Tampere, and I made them. I put all my soul into it. I worked for like 12 hours on one cake, but I really enjoyed the process. I don't know if I would have done it more because it requires a lot of like effort in buying ingredients, working on everything and stuff like that, but I really enjoyed the process. For myself, I would definitely do that again. Another thing that I did with my hands is my dress for the graduation. So this year I graduated from my bachelor's degree, and I made my own dress for the graduation out of like photos. It was so lovely. Like, I was so inspired, and I was just in the flow for 3 days when I was making this dress, printing all the photos, first finding them, printing them, combining them, and working with the hammer. And it was really nice to just also reflect on my journey throughout these 3 years that have passed so quickly. And in the photos, I included all the favorite moments and all the favorite people from my bachelor's degree, so it was really nice. Last thing from my favorite hobbies of this year is editing videos. I didn't know that it's also a meditative process where I can forget about the existence of time. And it was so nice to edit my own videos, edit my vlogs from the travelings, bringing so many memories back to my mind of what I have experienced, how have I felt, and yeah, I just like it. I just like the process. So now towards more of a physical stuff. Favorite home items, I have 2 of them. First, my bookshelf, and second, my desk with the drawers on the side of it. It also brings me back to my childhood when I used to do my homeworks and then, for example, draw something or do scrapbooking. And I really hope that next year I return to some of the more DIYs with the scrapbooking and journaling and just doing some arts, because now I have my desk. We have been constructing them all day with my boyfriend, and also the washing machine. Washing machine is also a nice purchase of this year because I lived like 1 month without it and it was super tough, so tough, and I don't want to go back to that life anymore. So maybe that's also one of my favorite purchases of this year. Favorite books? I have not really read that many books during this year, but still more than in the previous year, I would say. And these are 2 books that I found to be great and maybe a little bit life-changing. First of all is Atomic Habits. Pretty mainstream, everyone reads it, everyone uses it, but I think this is going to be my table book because I want to return back to it every now and then. it has a lot of useful advices for your life, and now there are some of the changes in my life that are going to happen, and I know that in the new lifestyle I need to build new habits so that I don't focus only on one thing but have my life balanced out. And the second book is called Mindset, is about how winners always have the growth mindset. Like the most important thing is the journey, focusing on journey and improving yourself and enjoying the process, because everyone has the same goal. Everyone wants to win, but not everyone wins. And it's because some people focus only on reaching the goal and then giving up on everything, and the other people, they want to always improve themselves, which is always nice and was a good reminder for me, because sometimes I catch myself on thinking like, yeah, I already know this, there is nothing for me to learn, but there's always something to learn. And maybe continuing on the learning process, some of the favorite university things, because I'm still in the university. First of all, my supervisor for the bachelor thesis, the more I hear about different people's experiences with their thesis, the more I appreciate my supervisor, because he actually taught me how to do a research and how to write a paper, and he was always there for me. Like, he was replying to my emails within 30 minutes, within 1 hour, and he was giving such thorough comments on my work. Of course, in the moment, it was really tough for me, because I was like, I need to work more, I need to read more papers. It was a bit draining, but I'm super grateful to him for helping me throughout this process. Another favorite thing of this year is that I got my first ever part-time job, and because of that I meet so many interesting people who work in various companies, who have different backgrounds and can tell me about so many of different things. Like, we had the Christmas celebration with our department, and I was accidentally sat in front of the person that I had not known before that event, but he changed my life. Like, I can truly say that during one evening, in just like a couple of hours, when he told about his life and his accomplishments, it changed my life. He did his PhD when he was 24, and after that he has been learning throughout his life, and he did like 8 master's degrees. And I was like, wow, if a person does that, I can't complain about finishing one master's degree. And also it made me think that your degree does not define you. Like, maybe sometimes I'm thinking that, yeah, this degree is not really for me. I want to just stop it and study something different, start all over again. But then I realized that the degree does not define me. Like, I can still study, but it doesn't mean that I need to work within this field, and I don't need to like this field that much. So after that, I was like, yes, I will continue and I will finish this degree, and maybe later on I will study something different. And it just makes me more rich in my knowledge and experiences, because the most important skill, in my opinion, is the ability to learn. So I want to learn as much as possible. A couple of more categories left. They're more abstract in terms of like experiences, and after that I will go to insights of this year. Some of the favorite experiences of this year, first of all, is skydiving. It was my boyfriend's gift, and we were skydiving here in Finland. I didn't know about it until like 2 hours before the event. I was a little bit scared and excited, and the feeling of jumping from the plane, it's not comparable to anything else. This experience, it just blows your mind, because it expands your horizons of what you are capable of and what a human is capable of. There was me, I was full on in protection glasses, in all the gear, but then there was an instructor who was behind me, and he was not wearing anything of that. Yeah, he was wearing glasses, but no helmet. He was in a t-shirt and just doing, I don't know, maybe like 10 jumps per day. Favorite trip to nature was definitely to Plitvice Lakes. It was a national park in Croatia where we went in June, and the nature there is so different from anything that I have ever been before. I haven't traveled that much in my life, but still, this place, it was magical. The water there was turquoise. There were closer to 20 different waterfalls in the area, and I really liked it. I hope to visit some of the national parks in Finland as well, maybe next year. So those were all of the favorites of 2024. Let's now go to the insights of 2024, the things that I realized or understood finally during this year. First of all, choose whatever matters to you instead of what is conventionally normal or conventionally more successful. I had a difficult choice during this summer because I got a study place from Switzerland, but I also had a study place here in Finland. And even though I was always thinking that, like, yeah, once I get an opportunity to leave from here, I will definitely take it, especially if the country is better or better located. Like for me, Switzerland is a really nice place because it's so easy to travel to anywhere from there and it's super fast. But I decided to stay here in Finland because I understood that I'm not that interested in studying particularly that topic, for example. It doesn't matter to me as much as being next to the person who matters to me the most. Yeah, maybe according to some people, it's a really stupid decision to stay for a relationship or stay for your boyfriend, but for me it was and it is super important to be here. And I'm 100% sure that I'm so much happier now here than I would have ever been there. I think this is one of the things that I realized, that not everything should be done just logically. Like you can put your heart into making these decisions. Another thing that I realized is that where your focus is, there are your results. This is so true, and it has worked for me both from the good side and from the bad side. So I was working on my Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and stuff like that during the summer because I had quite a lot of time. And I have seen the results, like I have been getting more views, more followers and stuff like that. But once I switched my focus, the growth stopped. And then I shifted my focus to learning Finnish, and I have seen quite a lot of results in this field. And realized that this is actually so true. Where is my focus? There are my results. And next year, I hope I will focus more on my blog and growing my audience, publishing more videos both to Instagram and YouTube. And maybe I love YouTube more than Instagram because here I can talk, I can express my thoughts in a full manner, while in Instagram I need to fit all my thoughts into 1 minute. So I really like YouTube, and I hope in the next year I will focus more on YouTube. The thing that I realized is that it's so important to make photos or videos of yourself from different periods of time, even when you think that it's quite awkward to make photos there. But it's super important because those are some memories and they will be in your mind forever if you just take a small picture of it. And maybe one last thing is that try whatever you are interested in and don't expect any results. This is one of the insights of this year, that it's not late for me to try anything in this life. I can try doing whatever I want, whenever I want. And there are so many things that I want to learn in this life, and I should not limit myself saying like, oh yeah, I'm too busy for this. Always you can find time to do something that you love. And don't be afraid of that, and also embrace the process, because results don't come immediately. You need to hone your skills so much more in order to see even the first results, and that's something that I try to remind myself all the time. So this was it from me about all my favorites of this year. Thank you so much for watching, and tell me about your favorites of this year in the comments. Thank you. Bye.